Hi, in this video I'm going to use Selenium to test tables and CSS values. I'm going to continue working with the setup I created and use Selenium to automate a web page. In that video I connected to a CDC website that calculates your BMI, body mass index, and I demonstrated how to find the objects in the screen using selectors, send text in, click buttons, and do a simple test. So let me go to my code. This is my current setup. I linked to the website. I do feet, inches, pounds. I did this by XPath just to do it by XPath. I send in 5'10", 160 pounds. When I do that, I get this back. BMI of 23, and this bar is purple. That's what I want to test on this particular test. I want to check to make sure that the bar that has the word healthy in it is purple. So I'm going to demonstrate how I get the color purple that I'm going to test, and then I'm going to show you how to walk through the objects in a table and test them. Okay, let's start by getting the color. Now I could dig through the CSS and look for that, but I'm lazy. So I'm going to make my code do it for me. So I'm going to create a web element called BMI table. Let's find element by ID. Now this is the whole BMI table that we saw on that site. That's this table right here. See, BMI table? So by setting an object to that, I can then search through that object for a particular entry. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to find a particular row. And it's row 2. But we actually, these are 1 based. So this is 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to rename that to row 3. So row 3 shall be BMI table. I'll find element by, and I'm going to use XPath here. Now I'm already in the BMI table, so I don't need to go through the full XPath of HTML, body, etc. I'm already here, so I'm going to use the stay in current location and find the third object. For more information on this, look up XPath in Selenium. Guru99 has a really good page that handles this. And now I'm going to print out the color there. I'll get CSS value here. And I'm assuming if you're in this class or you've worked with CSS before, you know what that is. So I'm going to make sure it works. Even test. And I get back RGB 197.190.2251. So that's exactly what I was expecting. So I'm going to copy that. That's my expected. So I no longer need these 2 objects. I'm going to comment them out. Alright, so now that I have the correct value I'm looking for, I now need to build the code to walk through the table. And I'm going to do that by finding all the TRs and then for eaching through the TRs. And then inside the TRs, I'll for each through each one of the TDs. Maybe a bit heavy for what I need right here. But it's a guaranteed way to have you walk through a table in your own code. Now I'm going to do something different than I haven't done before. I'm going to do find elements by. Find elements returns back a list of web elements. I'm look for tag name. I'm looking for TR. You don't need the angle brackets in this. It'll find it without. Make sure you import Java util. Rows now holds all of the TRs in BMI table. If you had done driver here to find all the TRs across the entire page, which is a bit much. I'm not going to for each them. So walk through each one of the rows, and I'll build another list with all the columns. Again, find elements by tag name, TD. Now this just searches for the TDs in a particular row. So I'm going to go row, 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 column, column, row, 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 column, 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 etc. It's going to go down and across one at a time. It's kind of like when you built nested for loops back in your first programming classes. So for each column and columns, I'm going to see if that particular column holds the word healthy. If it does, I'm going to pull out the background color. I'm going to use get DOM property here. I'm going to use text content. Text content in DOM property is a great way to get information out of an object. Oops, not column. Sorry, just call. And contains equal doesn't work here because it's strings, and secondly, the HTML throws some weird things in there like backspaces and such. So this works well. If it contains healthy, I'm going to pull out the color. And again, I'm getting the background color. Now I could probably break here, but I'm not because I want to see if it fails later on. So end if, end for, here we go. And I'll run my assert. Expected actual. And let's run it. Drum roll, please. Yes! Test run. 1. No failures. So it works. We think. Whenever I'm testing, building tests, I'd like to make sure that my logic is valid. So I'll usually forcibly fail to make sure that I'm not surprised. So I'm going to run this again with the Maven test. And again, wait. It runs. Ding, ding. Error fails because I was expecting with a space and didn't find it. All right. Awesome. All right. So in this video, we learned how to walk through a table using Selenium. You learned how to find individual objects inside the table. You've learned how to take a look at the content of that table. And then we did a simple test to make sure that the functionality of your page was as you expected, so that your BMI range here would get highlighted, which is actually pretty cool code. All right, well, thank you and good luck.